Hi crafty friends, Shana from ShanoukiArt. One of my favorite things to add to a junk journal is a snippet strip. A quick and easy way to add interest to your pages. I usually add a few throughout the pages of a journal. It's also a really good way to add continuity to your journal. And by continuity, I mean using similar or the same elements into your snippet strip to connect it to other pages. So I'll normally go through and see what I have used and use those elements repeated on the snippet strip. You will almost always have little bits of scraps left over when you make pockets or tags or tabs or anything for your journal. Keep those for your snippet strips. Start by gathering your supplies. I think it's best to have everything ready and available. Bring it all to the table. You won't use it all, but it's good to have some variety and choice when you're making these. Also, if you only have a few things, that's okay too. Use what you have. There are many ways to make these. I'm going to show you my method and you can adapt it to suit you. I always start with a strip as a base. It's normally about 2 centimeters wide and slightly longer than your pages in your journal. I'm only making one today, but this is an excellent choice for mass making. Go through all the little bits that you have and tear small little squares, rectangles, any shapes you like. You can cut them straight if you prefer. You can punch circles or shapes. I just like to tear mine into rough little squares. I love all the rough edges. And I'm going to use bits with color, bits that are just a vintage tone. Of course, use the colors that suit your journal. Use bits of fabric or fiber or vellum, anything that you have that can add texture to your page. I'm also using some pieces from the digital kit that I've used in the journal. I've made a tag from this in one of the other pages. I've used the green on my waterfall notepad. As you can see, I'm repeating some of the colors and elements. This is the other printable kit that I've used in my journal. I'm going to cut out a couple of the flowers that I'm going to use as part of the decoration of the page when I put it all together. I'm going to add one of these flowers into the actual snippet strip. Again, another way to show continuity. I love adding fabrics to mine. I think the texture it creates is really interesting, especially when things spill off the page. When the journal is closed, you have all these beautiful bits and textures sticking out. That's one of my favorite things. Cheesecloth is my go-to. Love the fibers it creates. Calico is another one. It has the frayed edges and the cream color goes with most anything. Now using a glue stick, I'm going to apply a very little bit of glue on my pieces just to sort of keep them in place. I am going to run this entire snippet strip under the sewing machine to attach all the pieces together. So the glue is just temporary, just to keep them in place. If you don't have a sewing machine, you don't have to do stitching. You can glue it more securely at this point. So working through all the little bits, we're going to attach them, one overlapping the other. And we're going to apply them at angles. We don't want them all straight. We want those rough edges and that uneven look. You'll see I've also added a piece of the spotty acetate that I used in one of my specimen windows in a previous video. I'm not gluing the fabric down or the fibers. I'm going to add those as I sew. I'm just adding the papers for now so they sort of hold their place. Makes it easier to sew it. Moving over to my sewing machine, I'm going to use just a white thread. This suits my theme, and a simple running stitch. So as you can see, all the pieces are holding together, so we have the order that we want, and we're going to place this under the foot of the sewing machine and start sewing. I did find a piece of this brown paper that I used in the waterfall notebook that I want to add. I'm just going to slip that in as I go. Sewing straight at a medium speed, I'm going to add the bits of fabric as I go. There we go, easy peasy. Here is a closer look at the snippet strip. You can see all the beautiful textures, the rough edges, the soft tones, and so easy to make. Now to add it to the journal, I will normally attach it to a plain page. It's busy enough on its own with its colors and textures, so I'm going to find a plain coffee stained page. And as you can see, the opposite page is a brown paper bag, which picks up on the brown paper that I've used on the snippet strip. Again, that connection I was talking about. Now for me, I'm not going to just stick the snippet strip down. You almost certainly can. I'm going to add a few more elements. I've added the additional flower at the bottom underneath, peeking out from the left, and then I'm going to glue the snippet strip down on the edge of the page using a craft glue. I apply the glue to the page as opposed to applying it to the snippet strip. I just found this an easier way to know where I'm going to place it. I usually turn it over so I can be sure I get it in the center. And look how cute that looks with all the bits hanging out. I'm going to add a little bit more green. I found this green die cut on my desk from a previous project, and I think it goes perfectly, so I'm going to attach that just above the flower. It's a good thing I don't always pack up after every project, because I find bits that I've used previously for current projects. I'm going to add a couple of butterflies. I think they really will suit this theme, and I am using butterflies throughout my journal. These are rub-ons that are available from Taperlogy. I will put a link in the description box below, and I really feel that they add that extra level to this page. I then felt I needed a little bit more green just at the bottom. There were a few too many elements that were sort of a similar tone and they had the pink flower. So I found a very small piece of a turquoisey green that I just popped underneath one of the elements, and I found that is all I needed. I really hope you enjoyed this video and were inspired to create your own snippet strip. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell so you're notified every time I upload new content. Thanks again for watching, happy creating, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!